Good morning, it's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. In the last video we talked about a few of the things off slightly topic from the normal pole shift news and things like that, but I gather from the comments that was left in the comment section on that video that a lot of people really did strike up a chord and associate with it, and I just wanted to add a little bit something to that. I will say one of our superstars, Scott in Arizona, has forwarded us his magnetometer data, so that will be going up onto the website later on. And before we get into this, and you're probably wondering why are we looking at pictures of elderly people, we're going to get into that in a little bit, but I just want to say huge thanks to Jim. You know who you are, and I know you know what you did yesterday. I'll just explain very quickly. You know, it seems more common than not these days that, you know, I find myself disappearing beneath the waterline, and occasionally being able to come up and take a gulp of air. You know, I think a lot of us are in that same situation, probably more so this year than any other year, you know, and you know, that is exactly what you enabled me to do yesterday, was to come up for that gulp of air. So with that, you know, I just want to also thank our patrons and you know, our other superstars that look after us and look after our equipment and send regularly their data. So why are we looking then at photographs of elderly people? I just want to say that, you know, it is inevitable that we are all going to look like this at some point. It is something that we cannot avoid. But if I can give you something to help you along the way, then, you know, I hope that this will be that what we talk about in this video. If I was to just give you an analogy of you know, drinking out of a plastic bottle, you know, the water that's in there, and then putting the lid back on there, screwing it on tight, and then throwing it into a river, you know that when the bottle hits the water, it is shiny, clear, you know, there's a label on it, and you know, it's going to travel for probably 50 miles down the stream. But I guarantee you, when we pull it out after 50 miles, it won't be shiny and so clear, you won't be able to see through it, the label will have fell off it. But you know, this is really what happens in life. You know, we move through life, and as we do move through life, or through you know, the river of time, which is always flowing, we will inevitably end up looking a little bit scuffed at the end of it. And you know, it is nothing more than beautiful. It is distinguishing. You know, it is you know, instantly recognizable that somebody has obviously been through the river for a long period of time, because of how they have aged as they've gone through it. And you know, we all know that during the course of this river, it is a lot like life. You know, there are rapids, there are some waterfalls, and sometimes we know what we're heading towards. It could be, you know, a real horrible experience moving through this river of time, and you know, for that reason we hold on to the bank for a little while. We grab a stone or a big boulder and we hold on to it, because we don't want to go any further down this river, because we know, we can see that this is an unpleasant experience, and we don't want to go through it. You could be holding on to that boulder, or it could be a handful of grass. But you know what happens inevitably? We either lose grip because the current of the water pulls us faster through it, and we've got no choice then to experience what we're going to experience. And sometimes it's not nice, sometimes it's calm, or we just simply let go in a leap of faith and hope that, you know, these rapids are not going to be stretching for miles and miles, and that it will be short past, and then we might get some calmer water, and that is just exactly how life is, isn't it, guys? Those rapids could equally be the mortgage payments at the end of the month for some of us. They could be, putting food on the table. How are we going to meet that this time? I don't want to experience this. I can see already, when you get to that point in your life and you're looking, you're forecasting through the week, how will you manage to be there at the end of the week? And like I say, it's sometimes just like a leap of faith. You have to let go and let the cards fall the way they do. But for most of us, we will get down to the end of the river where it meets the ocean. And life is a strange thing, and it is no different for any one of us. We all will experience the first experience, which is a painful one. Trust me, you won't remember taking your first breath of air when you come into this world, when you was born, and you will know how painful that last breath is at the end of that journey. This is something that none of us can avoid. It's just during this river flow that we have an opportunity to get some experiences. Like I said, we come into this world with nothing, and when we're going out of this world, we're not taking anything with us. Trust me. We leave inheritance for our children and our families and our loved ones, and in some cases people leave it to even other just causes. Some people, it's not uncommon here in the UK for them to leave it to charities and things like that, like the charity for dogs and animals and pets. A lot of people do that, but we will all have an opportunity to leave something behind. And I've got to say this, that if it was my last day today on this earth, that at least I can feel confident that I have left something. It won't be in monetary terms for anyone. It will be in, hopefully, some of the knowledge and things that I've discussed, and hopefully some people will never forget those things. So I can leave this world hopefully knowing that I at least give some people a little bit of comfort. I genuinely believe that in the last video I did, some people did get something out of that, and that they will remember it. And we was talking about people bearing a bit of light, and when you come into their company, you thrive, don't you? When you come into some people's company, it's not always an unpleasant experience. It's a nice experience. And I believe that I've met a few of these people in my life, and there's nothing more better than sharing a moment in time, or a moment in that river, with company, and good company as well, because it makes when you go through the rapids all that little bit more manageable, doesn't it? So I would be happy if I left this world tomorrow with that. But in general, what I was talking about was inheritance and leaving something behind afterwards. We work all our lives and we leave our loved ones the monetary values of things behind. It might be a house for the children, it might be a small amount of cash, but there are other things that we can leave behind, and not just for our loved ones or our family and immediate people in our surroundings. We can leave a world which is in a better place, and a world which was better for the next generation to inherit. That's another thing we can do. I suppose I mean, at the beginning of this video I wanted to talk about environmental issues, but I do understand that it is probably better to talk about the immediate environment of people individually, and then work out from that. If you can help them clear up their own environments, then you can help them also be responsible for the environment in their surroundings, and also then extend it out to even a global environment. I think if you're working to change the environment for a better cause, then I think the environment that most people should start with is their own personal environment, and that might even be their mental state, and just putting a few analogies there, getting that right, might help them, expand that out. It could be like a little candle that we start off with a small flame, you ignite it, and then obviously that candle can be seen for many miles away in the darkness, and if there's lots of little candles in the darkness, it's no longer a dark place. I think that's what we all really would like. We all want a perfect world, and it really starts with the for some people an encouragement, and the willingness as well to make those changes. We need to have more of these conversations, because in the last 10 years 1/3 of the species on our planet has disappeared, and to some respects that is down to ourselves. And in the video I was talking about this world being a very special place, and there was no mistake about its positioning, and the moon, and us having that ability to see a solar eclipse from the surface of the earth is a reminder that this is by no means a coincidence. You don't just drop a box of matches on the floor and those matches spell out your name and address, like I said in that last video. This is an opportunity for us to show, I believe, like at school, we're going to get an exam result at the end of it. I think it's an opportunity for us to learn first of all, and then put those things that we've learned to test in the field. And we all want to inherit something better, and we all want to leave something better. I don't believe anyone wants to come into this world and just take from it and not put something back. And I think that we need to start having these conversations, because we are desperately overdue a rethink on the way in which we conduct ourselves on this planet. We cannot continue wiping out millions of other biodiversities of species at the rate at which we are. And it is largely down to a common attitude of corruption, greed, and people locking their conscience away. Nothing will ever change if this attitude and fashion of attitude continues to expand. We need to put this in reverse, and we need to start showing people that what is more important is, first of all, our well-being, second of all, our environment, and thirdly, leaving something in a better place for the next people that will be coming along. Some not even here yet, but there will be. And we've only got to look at the population increase to know that there will be a lot more people here shortly in the coming years. And right now I don't think that we're doing a good job. And I think you'll agree of leaving a legacy of something that would be considered better than what we had. We seem to be transfixed on our own lives, and not really giving too much consideration to the next generations. And trust me, we only have to switch on the mainstream media to know what's going on there. It's not fair that our children study at university at the costs that university comes in at now, many tens of thousands, and their only options when they have graduated is to work as a waitress. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but it wasn't their ambition. That wasn't the reason why they went to university in the first place. And we need to create opportunities for people. as well as a great will to live in. And we are the ones that have this ability to do it right here and now, because we're the ones here right now. That river I was talking about of time, we will never reach the end of that river, a lot of us. That's down for a future generation to achieve. But without us being here at this point, then they won't be here at the next point of that river. Or if they do, when they do experience that river, it is going to be not a very pleasant journey for them. There is going to be more rapids, more waterfalls, and less calm, gently flowing rivers for them. So I guess the conclusion is that we work on our personal environments to start with, and when we recognise that we've lit the little candle, we look for other people, I suppose, that are in the same mindset as ourselves, and we link up with them. And that's like two candles coming together. Now we've got 2 candle watts of light, which is twice as much light being emitted by one. And we do that again. We meet other people, and eventually we end up with 50 candle watt lights, which is a blazing light in darkness. And we are in times, I believe, of darkness, and I think that the more light we can shine, the better. Ourselves will be, our environments will be, and the world will be. And at the end of our little journey along this river of time, we leave an inheritance of a better place. What we need to do is, obviously, I understand, look after ourselves and our families and our loved ones, but after that, then what? I think we owe it to the world to look after the environment. And that don't mean planting millions of trees on our own. I'm just saying we get together, we understand that we have to leave something in a better place than when we picked up from. Then, throughout the generations, if this is a common goal, it will always be a better place for the next people to enjoy. And we can rest assured that we have done that right thing, as opposed to where we are right now. Living with the fact that 10 years ago there was 1/3 more species on this planet, and indirectly or not directly through our behaviour, they are no longer here. And we have not done our job as good stewards because of that. There are things and there are limitations to what we can change, and we should always, I believe, always try and improve the environment for ourselves whilst we're here, and absolutely for the people. It is just, I think, just courtesy to leave it much better than what we found it, and they will respect that. But I don't think there'll be a lot of respect if we continue doing what we're doing at the moment. They are going to say these were just selfish, wicked, greedy little people that consumed and didn't put anything back. And they are right to say that and accuse us of that right now because of the way things are. We have not added 1/3 of the species back to this planet. We've removed it. We have not recognised that we are at a point in time of technological advancement, and that obviously reduces labour intensity, so that there's not many jobs out there for people. And because there's an overwhelming amount of people out of work right now, then it just opens up, the ability for exploitation and low salaries, because it's better, isn't it? to have something than nothing. And we've all got that mentality. None of us want to go without anything. So if we can get our hands on a little something, we're going to do that. But you know what we're doing is making it harder for all of ourselves to obtain those resources that we need. And that's the reason why we go to work, isn't it? To exchange labour for money, money for resources. I just think that the first place we need to consider ourselves cleaning up is our personal environment first of all, you know, that in our brains. And then when we've done that, we can expand outwards. You know, what we need to do is to first of all light the candle. And you know, those photons will emit light. So, you know, we're in a dark place, we light the candle, we have a little light. We come together with other people, like-minded, with a candle of their own, and we end up with more light. And, you know, if we can do this, we can, you know, eradicate this darkness that we're in right now. Starts off with, I think, not trying to take on the whole of the global environment. It starts with our own little environment, and we move out from there, just like a seed. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it here. There's a link there if you want to help support what we do at the observatory. Please go over to Pole Shift News later on and have a look at the data from Tucson, Arizona. One of our superstars there, Scott, who's been running one of our magnetometers for some time, has sent us some data to put up there, so we'll be doing that. And you know, you enjoy yourselves, and you know, give a bit of food for thought for what we've talked about here in this video. If you didn't watch the last video, I thought even myself that was a good video, even myself, guys. Yeah, get over there and watch that as well. And you know, I'll say what I usually do. There's a link down there. Support us, and I will say, have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow. As always, bye for now.